guys, it's Ahmer here. So there is something that I wanted to talk about. When does video game collecting become a problem? And when do you cross that line between collector or hoarder? So today we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So as I have people in and out of the game room throughout the year, and especially around the holidays, I often get called a video game hoarder. Now, I wanted to kind of talk about this because there is a fine line between collecting and hoarding. So as more and more people come into the game room, they see a massive amount of video games, they see this collection here. I just wanted to talk about, that entire statement and that judgment. So, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and go ahead and turn on the bell notification so that you don't miss any further uploads. So, let's just jump into it. Who does not like getting called a hoarder when they are collecting something that they are passionate about? So, pretty much there are some fine lines here of, what it's like to be a video game collector, what this entire hobby entails, and when people from the outside actually start making those judgments. So from an outside perspective, someone that just does not understand exactly what you do when it comes to video games, there used to be a stigma around video games. A lot of people would often kind of consider that person a lazy person. It wasn't the cool thing to do. It wasn't really a hip thing back in the day. I just remember playing video games, but of course you would have to stay active, play sports, go outside. And it was something that, a lot of people didn't quite understand. But now, as we are venturing into this whole entire technological world, this video game collecting and video games in general are starting to get, this big attention around it. And many of us have been in this hobby for quite some time, and some of us have, collected so much stuff. So where do you draw the line with that? Does it depend on who you're speaking with? Does it depend on someone else in the hobby? Or does it, just happen? So essentially what I'm talking about is those family members, the friends, everyone from an outside perspective who comes into the game room and they see that you own thousands upon thousands of video games, displays, neon signs, figures, toys, and just so much more. There's just literally anything and everything of video game collecting. And then of course, as this whole entire time started going on, that nostalgia took over, and then I started collecting action figures and toys and just so much more than just video games per se. So when you have someone over into a massive collection of this stuff, you're often going to get questioned about this. How do you accumulate something like this, and does this impact your daily life? So those are some key things when it's talking about a collector versus a hoarder. So does this essentially impact you in any negative light? So when you're getting into video game collecting, you have to kind of narrow in on what you want to collect. So I would say that someone that just is all over the place, and they're just collecting things, they're taking a financial hit, it's kind of impacting their day-to-day life where it's taking over. I would consider that more of, someone that is essentially hoarding things. But when you only have one of each video game, when you like to collect a lot of different things and you have a purpose for it. So anyone that essentially displays their collection, they enjoy collecting these items. They love the thrill of the hunt, going out there, finding these items. Everything has a story, whether it was something personal to them, whether it was that nostalgia that hit them from back in the day of remembering and collecting these items, to even acquiring the items. Did you just stumble upon it? Did you get it for an amazing deal? Did, it just jump out of nowhere, or were you actually looking for these items? And then how you bring everything together. I think when I talk to people and they kind of are quick to judge and say, oh, you have this many of this, you must be a hoarder. Well, no, I'm not the person that's on TV on the show Hoarders. I actually have things displayed and curated and accumulated in this entire sense here. And everything is functional, everything is on display, everything has the option to be played and enjoyed. How is this any different than those who collect artwork, who collect different, things that people make? How is it any different than decorations for the holidays? How is it any different than sports memorabilia? When you are passionate about something and you enjoy something, I feel like that is where the collecting sense comes in, as opposed to something that is negative, that is kind of taking over your life, financial strain, just like all over the place, scattered. You have, no desire to actually, use those items. You're just kind of like stacking these things up and it's really consuming your life. I would say that that is more of a hoarder sense, but I just wanted to reach out to you guys. Does anyone else who collects, whether it's on a smaller scale or a larger scale, do you often get that phrase where you're called a hoarder? Do you appreciate being called that, or do you prefer collector? I just wanted to reach out and just see what you guys think about this and just see what your take is on this, because this is something that is brought up pretty often when you talk to people about something that you're interested in, your passion, your hobby, and I'm just curious what you guys think. So, of course, let me know in the comments below if you guys have been called a hoarder or if you prefer the term collector. Let me know what you guys collect and love, if there is a plan of action that you guys have, if there's like a master goal in mind when you're actually going out there looking for these items, trying to build like this whole entire collection of something in particular. Or do you consider yourself a hoarder? Do you have so many copies of a particular game? Does it, take up your entire time? Do you find that there is some sort of balance that you have to meet? And what do your family and friends think about this stuff? Just let me know in the comments below. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more.